Hello, and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. These books are all about women aviators, and they were all eye-openers. I'm going to start with this one. This book is about Blanche Stewart Scott, and she was flying planes that look about like the Wright brothers' planes. She was flying in 1909 and 1910 and caught the attention of Julie Cummins, who wrote a biography about her. And the daredevil pilot, tomboy of the air. And there's a little something on the back cover that I think sets the stage for her doing what she did. I discovered I was totally unsuited for the life of bridge, telephoning, socials, and social visiting. So that's what she'd been brought up to, but it wasn't her. She had a dream of something more adventurous, and she set about to see if she could achieve that. Well, the first obstacle she ran into was getting a pilot's license. Not easy to get if you were a woman in the 1910s. So she does get one, and the kind of thing that she gets involved in is being in air shows, doing various tricks and daredevil things. And an interesting read, an eye-opening read. You have to have a lot of courage to go out against the common tradition and try something different. Here's another woman who did that. Well, I guess any woman who went into flying during those early years was breaking through some barriers. Maybe not the sound barrier, or but they were had to have something. Now, this is a story of Bessie Coleman, and it's told by Dolores Johnson. It says she dared to fly. Now, she, like Blanche, had to face the problems of getting a pilot's license. Now we're talking into the 20s, into the 30s, and into the 20s when she first was looking for one. That was hard to get. In fact, a friend finally told her, go to France and take lessons there, train there, and then come back and see what'll be the case. France, a friend advised, is sort of in the forefront of some of the aviation, and they seem to not hold the same prejudice that other people in other areas might hold. And that proved to be the case. But she returned to the United States, finally got a license. Her goal was to start her own school and train women who wanted to fly. And, well, she'd need a plane for that. Well, you're a woman, it's going to be very hard for you to get a plane. It's expensive, and the ones that she could afford were perhaps not always in tip-top shape. They needed a lot of mechanical care, and because that's why their price was affordable. So she's performed in air shows as well. She had quite a crowd who supported her and her time, but I'd never heard of either one of them. And I had heard of Amelia Earhart, but I didn't know very much about Amelia Earhart. And I know more now, thanks to these two books. Courage in the Sky. Yes, you need courage to fly. This is by Mona Kirby. And whatever happened to Amelia Earhart? And I think that was the thing that I knew about. That there was some mystery involved about her death and what had happened to her. It was an airplane tragedy, about 1936, I think. And she had set a number of, achieved a number of goals, and her current goal was to fly around the world, starting in Miami and flying east, crossing Africa, Asia, and then, of course, crossing that endless blue Pacific Ocean. Now, even at that time, finding places where one could refuel, finding places that had airstrips that were at all safe to land on even. Many times people in earlier ages landed on fields and the plane might just hit a rock and flip over and crash. So it was still in many respects a touch and go. And so I'm glad I read those. Now, this next book was by Burl Markham, and I didn't know anything about Burl Markham at all, but I guessed that she was a pilot by looking at what she was wearing on the cover of the book. And I said to myself, you know, those look like the kind of gear that women flyers wore. And so this is her story. And it's not a small book, a little short book. But for good reads, it's right up there. She got me hooked from the first page, and I stayed that way the whole way through. A remarkable woman and an amazingly wonderful writer, Burl Markham. Now, I've been recommending some books to you. You know, they're just for those that might be interested in that little branch. My wife recommended this book to me. She'd read a number of books by Fannie Flagg, and she thought I would like this book. It's called the All-Girl Filling Station's Last Reunion. And there's a filling station, and there's a plane, and it's been doing loops and things in the sky, leaving a vapor trail behind it there. And this is I'm going to say, novel about this all-girls filling station, but really there's two novels here. They're interwoven. There's two stories interwoven, and one story has two or maybe even three parts to it. And I found I could appreciate my wife's recommendation. I really like this book. It starts when even finding a gas station in the U.S. was hard, and carries through the Second World War, where I learned all kinds of history that I don't think's common knowledge about women aviators. And I was ever so glad I read it. And I went on and read at least 2 more Fanny Flagg novels. And if I ever get time to just do nothing but read, I'm sure I'll go back to pick up a couple of others that my wife has recommended to me. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.